Nintendo is back at it again, asking you to open up your wallet for some good old nostalgia. Now, usually I wouldn't make a video about this because I don't make videos about video games. My channel is oriented towards anime and comic books, but Pokemon is also an anime which I grew up watching, and the Game Boy Advance games were a big part of my childhood, so this is sorta personal for me. But before we get into this, make sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot and it helps out the channel grow. Now let's get into the video. Right now you can go on modern Nintendo hardware and buy classic Game Boy Advance games again, not remakes or remasters. It's basically the same handheld versions from the early 2000s, basically just ported over. And it is not about whether the games are good. Everyone knows these games are amazing and they're classics. The argument is about the price and value, because what Nintendo is selling here is essentially the original games packaged and ported for new hardware, while those exact games have been technically playable for free through emulation for years. So the debate here is, if nothing changed, why does it cost $20? And if you're buying the digital version of the game, do you even really own it? Now let's start with the obvious part, what you're actually buying. These GBA re-releases are, at their core, the original handheld games running through emulation on modern hardware. It's the same resolution, assets, mechanics, and content on a rebuilt engine. You get no remade art, features, or anything. It's just preservation of the original games exactly as they were 20 plus years ago. And preservation itself isn't the issue. Fans want old games preserved, of course, but the issue is that preservation alone is what's being sold at a $20 price per game. Because technically speaking, Game Boy Advance games have been among the easiest games in the world to preserve, which was, by the way, mostly done by the fans. The files of the games are tiny and the hardware is simple. Emulators have existed for decades, for free by the way, that run these games perfectly on basic devices. As a matter of fact, you can download a free Game Boy emulator now and play the same game for free on your phone. That reality shapes how players perceive the value of this. When something has been widely playable in its original form for years, for free, an official re-release is expected to add something new. So when the official version looks nearly identical to what already exists, you start to question what the price is actually for. And then comes the digital ownership angle, which is a huge part of the frustration for me. These purchases are digital only. You have no cartridge, no physical media. Your access to this game is tied to your account and the platform you bought it on. If that platform changes in the future, that purchase and ownership of your game depends on the platform support to remain accessible. So basically, you could lose your game overnight. That's fundamentally different from owning a physical game which exists forever in your hands. So if buying the game isn't owning but just renting out a license for the game and hope the platform doesn't remove it one day, then playing it on an emulator for free, in my opinion, isn't stealing. When you buy a digital retro game that can't exist outside a platform, you're paying for permission to access the software, not possession of it. That matters more for retro titles than new games, because retro purchases are often motivated by preservation. People want to keep these games long term, and if that depends on corporate decisions, the perceived value drops, at least for me. Now combine that with the fact that nothing in the game itself changed. The re-releases are extremely faithful to the original game, but also extremely minimal. Visually, they're the same. There isn't much extra content or added modes or new unlockables or redesigns. They did online, but only if the person is right there next to you, which is something emulators have done for years ago too. The experience is essentially identical to playing the original ROM file on any device you have on an emulator. So from a buyer's perspective, the question becomes simple. What part of this product is even new? If the answer is mainly platform compatibility, then that compatibility has existed through emulation for years already. If the experience looks the same, feels the same, and plays the same, the price feels disconnected from change. And I really cannot stress enough how bad it is that these are digital only. There's no physical edition and no copy of the game you can keep in your possession forever, which sucks because a lot of Nintendo fans are collectors. And for collectors and retro fans, this really matters. Physical ownership has always been part of retro culture. Removing that option while throwing a $20 price tag amplifies the feeling of paying for access rather than ownership. There's also the repetition factor of this too, because many players have purchased some of these games before on older virtual storefronts or re-releases. So another paid digital version, still largely unchanged, feels like buying the same game again in a new wrapper. We have the fucking GTA 5 situation here. And then there's the fact that it's so minimal effort. But that doesn't matter, because Nintendo fans are like Disney adults of video gaming. No matter how bad the situation is, they will consume, and these ports will still be sold at high volumes. We can complain as much as we want, but we won't make a change, and they will still profit off of this. In my opinion, you should just donate the 20 bucks to people who have actually been uploading the emulators and the games themselves for free, because they allowed us to experience these incredible games growing up through their platforms instead of giving it away to corporation that just wants to get richer. Until then, I'm Nimbus, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.